This will be popular. This film's gonna be popular. So it hurts to say that I just may like it a little bit less than everybody else, and I don't want anyone to hurt me, especially the Arianators. Take my musical theater card away. Welcome to the channel, Munchkins. Well, it's here. The cultural phenomenon known as Wicked has finally taken on the medium of film. It opened this past weekend to thunderous applause. This is the origin story of the two witches from The Wizard of Oz long before Dorothy arrived in Oz. Elphaba and Glinda were once classmates and roommates at Shiz University. Their bond will be tested as they uncover a conspiracy against the talking animals of the land of Oz and drive them to meet the great and powerful Wizard of Oz in Emerald City. Wicked is directed by John M. Chu. It stars Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Michelle Yeoh, Jeff Goldblum, and more. So I've been very cautiously optimistic for Wicked. I do love the original Wizard of Oz. I'm a self-proclaimed theater kid because I did it for a couple years in high school. I know the music, I know the show, I've never seen it live. But the track record for movie musicals has not been great recently. Marketing-wise, this movie is any and everywhere. It's the no talking, no texting bumper in AMC movie theaters. They made a custom Lego trailer to put in front of Pharrell's documentary Piece by Piece. It was a Halloween costume, and the movie hadn't even come out yet. And then the behind the scenes has been fairly messy. Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater leaving their partners for each other. Cynthia Erivo receiving so much hate and discrimination for her casting. And then Cynthia blew up about the photoshopped movie poster. And then the kids' toys decided to promote porn. So when I sat down at the early screening on Wednesday, I still had high hopes. I dressed like this. I was going into this as optimistic as possible. I am happy to say that I liked it. I don't think it's the grand masterpiece that the Letterboxd community seems to think it is. By the way, if you don't follow me there already, follow me on Letterboxd. I come away from Wicked a little bit frustrated, and I want to rewatch Wicked because I know there's a better movie in there than what I saw on Wednesday. I will start off with my positives. And the acting in this movie is all around phenomenal. I totally understand why Cynthia Erivo is so protective of this character and role, because she is able to disappear into Elphaba and she just embodies her fully. Taking on a cultural icon like Elphaba after another cultural icon like Idina Menzel, it's a difficult task. You don't want to just copycat it. And I'm glad to say that Cynthia makes it her own. Granted, the actor and the character are facing similar challenges of discrimination and hate for being who they are. But Erivo is just the right amount of passionate and no bullshit to pull it all off. Her facial expressions say it all. If lead actress wasn't so competitive this year, I'd immediately have her in the running for the Oscars. It honestly still may happen. Who knows? And then we go to Ariana Grande. I mean, what else do I expect out of Cat Valentine? She's charming, yet obnoxious. Her comedic timing is stellar. And when she shows off her concerned and more empathetic side, she makes that seamless switch from snotty to sincere. I'll say it. She could get supporting actress. And you want to know the best part about both of these characters? They can sing. I get it, water is wet. But I cried during Defying Gravity. I was bopping along to Popular. This will make fans happy. Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum, by no means bad singers, great acting on their parts. I didn't even recognize Peter Dinklage's voice. That was a nice surprise in the credits. Bowen Yang is fun. Ethan Slater is good. He did start singing and all I saw was SpongeBob on Broadway, and I'm sorry. Shout out to Marissa Bode for playing Nessa Rose, a actress confined to a wheelchair playing a character confined to a wheelchair. And she has a beautiful voice as well. And yes, Jonathan Bailey, he's great as Fiyero. Dancing Through Life was a great number. I don't understand how the books are staying on the shelves when they're turning upside down. Let's go down to the All-Stars Ballroom. I know he's more essential in Act 2. I needed more of his charisma. I needed more of his energy. Okay, can we talk about the 2-hour and 40-minute elephant in the room? All the marketing budget, and they couldn't put part 1 in anything? One of Glinda's opening lines are, "Let me tell you the whole story," and then she only recounts half of it. I knew this was a part 1 going into it, But did the general audience know? The couple next to me certainly didn't when the girlfriend elbowed the boyfriend like the fuck you're taking me to an incomplete movie for. I'm conflicted with the movie split. I think where the movie ends at the end of Act 1 does what it needs in trying to draw the audience back after a 1 year intermission. The story feels sorta complete. On one hand, Elphaba has completed her want of meeting the wizard, and her and Glinda's story have a conclusion for the time being. And we have the show stopping defying gravity as the last impression of the film before we go home and sulk for a year. But we did leave it on such a hell of a cliffhanger. I bet you some casual moviegoers might not sit right with that. Also, I'm not sure if that runtime is justified. The movie being as long as the entirety of the stage show plus intermission, it leaves room to explore the characters more for sure. We take time in some of these scenes, and I think sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not. The additional time and dialogue in Popular, it really ruined the momentum of that song. But then we have Elphaba and Glinda dancing in the room, and time stops in that point, and it's beautiful. I love how we stay in that time with them. The breaks between numbers can sometimes feel long. I won't lie, I felt the runtime. And then we boarded the train to Emerald City, and then we just clicked along really fast. It's a weird imbalance that I felt. The other thing is because they split the movie down the middle, some of the themes don't feel fleshed out. There's obviously themes surrounding Elphaba and Glinda's friendship, like discrimination over differences in personality and appearance, popularity versus a sense of belonging. We have a partial plot of what it means to take away knowledge and suppress a minority, power and propaganda targeting minorities, sticking to your morals. We could go on and on about the themes in Wicked. So much of it only feels partly explored because the movie is only halfway done. When we leave Elphaba and Glinda, it almost feels like Glinda hasn't learned anything yet because of some of the steps backwards that she makes. And it's unavoidable. Politics.
Oh, no, don't start him on that.
The undertones of fascism and ruling with fear and targeting a minority, they just scream loud right now. Maybe it leaves everything clinging in the air. Part of me is just frustrated of how so many doors were left open until part 2. And I'll move on to the text because, again, I'm mixed. The costumes are fantastic. I think they're my personal favorite costumes of the year. Definitely going for the Oscars. Production design is crazy. They built that train from scratch. Millions of flowers to fill out that set. The Enchanted Forest looks great. The library is crazy. All pretty detailed and gorgeous. Hair and makeup is great. Sound is great. I watched this in a Dolby theater, and the theater just envelops you in sound. The cinematography is fine. The camera is having fun dancing with the Ozians. There are some great landscape and wide shots. There are some shots plagued by light glare. So many characters stand in open doorways and windows, and it mutes themselves, turns them into silhouettes. It's brightening, it's distracting. Why am I squinting at my movie screen? And then there's visual effects. I was fine with the animals and the creatures. In fantasy, when it comes to creatures, I don't mind the cartoonish nature of them. I'm thinking along the lines of Hugh Grant Oompa Loompa from Wonka, the live action Smurfs, Dobby from Harry Potter, all the Pokemon and Detective Pikachu. They have this charm to them that just work, especially in family-friendly content. And Dr. Dilliman and the Flying Monkeys fit right into that category of realistically charming. But when it comes to enhancing the backgrounds and enhancing some of the sets, why'd they look like that? I don't understand why it feels like there's this filter on the screen that desaturates some of the color. Is it permanently partly cloudy in Oz? I look at some of the behind the scenes footage and I see the brightest colors, and it's all gorgeous. Not that Wicked is devoid of color, it's just muted. When I think Wizard of Oz, I think Technicolor. It was one of those revolutionary films to use color in such a way. And there's parts of Wicked that look hazy. Cynthia Erivo singing The Wizard and I. Gorgeous vocals, sprawling set. The wheat field looks like it's dying and the cliffs look like oatmeal. I feel like I'm really digging into my nitpicks, but it's only because I know Wicked is a great film. It had a high chance of cracking my top 10. And that's not to say that I don't rewatch this movie and something will click in my brain on a rewatch. Stay with me for a hot second. Denis Villeneuve's Dune movies. No matter the great things I could say about that first movie on a technical scale, in acting achievements, in powerhouse showing of direction, the fact that so much of The first movie of Wicked and the first movie of Dune is a slow burn setup. It really keeps my enjoyment at bay. When Dune 2 came along, it completed the picture. I significantly love Dune 2 much more. I'm kind of hoping I have the same reactions with Wicked. I have my hopes up and my heart open to an eventual rewatch. Maybe I'll bypass my criticisms. Maybe now that I know what I'm getting into walking in, I'll be able to just invest and enjoy myself more. Maybe I'll get lost in Oz. For the time being, I am giving Wicked Part 1 a tentative 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's my highest 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's basically on the cusp of a 4. But man, November 2025 can't come soon enough. Until then, thank you for watching. My name is Kyle. I'm still learning to fall in love with the medium of cinema. If you want to join me on that journey with more rankings, deep dives, and reviews on this channel, feel free to hit subscribe, hit the bell, and once again, follow me on Letterboxd. It is the busy season for movies. I'm not going to be able to make a video or a short on everything I watch. So if you're following me on Letterboxd, you'll know exactly what I've watched. Comment below your favorite song from Wicked, your overall thoughts on Wicked. Do you have a favorite Broadway show that you wish they would adapt to film? Don't forget to like the video, and until next time, that's a wrap.